The phone vibrated against my thigh at exactly 11:47 p.m., Emma's name flashing across the screen like a warning sign. I almost ignored it, almost preserved the careful peace I'd built over the last 8 months. But something made me answer. Maybe the universe has a sick sense of humor that way. "You need to hear this, Bella." Emma's voice crackled through the speaker, tight with tension. Ryan's been running his mouth at work again. My fingers tightened around the phone. Lucas shifted beside me on the couch, raising an eyebrow at my sudden rigidity. I forced a smile and walked to the kitchen, bare feet silent against the cold tiles. "I don't want to know what my ex-husband's saying, Em." The lie tasted bitter. "That chapter's closed. He's telling everyone you couldn't handle having a family, that you were too unstable, too selfish." She paused, and I heard her take a sharp breath. "He's showing pictures of Jessica and the baby, acting like they're his redemption story." The wine glass I'd been reaching for slipped through my fingers, shattering against the counter. Red droplets splattered across my white blouse like blood spatter. "Bella?" Lucas called from the living room. "Everything okay?" "Fine." My voice came out strangled. "Just knocked something over." Emma was still talking. "There's more. He's been implying things about your mental state during the marriage, making himself look like some kind of saint for putting up with you." I watched the wine drip onto the floor, forming a perfect crimson pool. 2 years of therapy, of rebuilding myself piece by piece, of convincing everyone, including myself, that I was over it. All undone by one phone call. "You know what the worst part is?" I whispered, pressing my palm against the cool granite countertop. "I actually believed him when he said the divorce was mutual, that we'd both just grown apart. Bella." "No." Something shifted inside me, like a lock clicking open. "He doesn't get to rewrite our story, not when he was the one sleeping with Jessica while I was trying to save our marriage." Lucas appeared in the doorway, concern etched across his face. He took in the broken glass, the wine stains, my white-knuckled grip on the phone. "I'll help clean up," he offered quietly. I shook my head, still focused on Emma's words echoing in my mind. "Thanks, but I need to handle this mess myself." Both the literal and metaphorical ones. "What are you going to do?" Emma asked. I watched another drop of wine fall, thinking about karma and justice and the fine line between them. "I'm going to remind Ryan that every story has two sides, and mine's about to get very, very public." Mother's pristine living room hadn't changed in 20 years. The same floral patterns, the same carefully arranged family photos, the same suffocating need for everything to look perfect on the surface. I sat rigid on the edge of the antique sofa, watching her pour tea into bone china cups with trembling hands. "Darling, you need to let this go." Mother set the teapot down with a gentle clink. "You have Lucas now, a beautiful new life. Why dig up old graves?" "Because Ryan's still throwing dirt on mine." The tea scalded my tongue, but I welcomed the pain. He's telling everyone at his company that I was mentally unstable. People talk, Arabella. It's what they do. She smoothed her skirt, a nervous habit I'd seen 1,000 times before. "Remember what happened when your father left? The gossip died down eventually. This is different." I set my cup down so hard that tea sloshed onto the pristine tablecloth. "Ryan's not just talking. He's systematically destroying my reputation while playing happy families with the woman he cheated with." Mother's face tightened. "We don't know that for certain." "Actually, we do." I pulled out my phone, showing her the timestamps on the photos Emma had sent. "Look at the dates. He was with Jessica while we were still in marriage counseling." She barely glanced at the screen. "Perhaps it's best not to know these things. What good can come from pursuing this vendetta?" "Justice." The word tasted like ash in my mouth. "Truth." "Truth?" She laughed, a brittle sound. "The truth is that you're acting exactly like me after your father left, obsessing over every detail, planning ways to make him hurt like you hurt." Her hands clasped together in her lap. "And where did that get me? Alone, bitter, watching my daughter repeat my mistakes?" The comparison stung more than I wanted to admit. "I'm nothing like—" Lucas called me. She cut me off, her voice gentle but firm. "He's worried about you. Says you've been up all night, making plans, talking to Emma about Ryan's schedule, his routines." Something cold settled in my stomach. He had no right. He loves you. Mother reached across the coffee table, touching my hand. Just like I do, which is why I'm begging you, don't let Ryan take any more of your life than he already has. I pulled away, standing abruptly. You're right about one thing. I am your daughter. I grabbed my purse, heading for the door. Which means I'm going to do exactly what you did. Ignore all the well-meaning advice and do what I need to do. Arabella, I'll see you at Sunday dinner, Mother. I paused at the threshold. And don't worry, I'll make sure to keep everything looking perfect on the surface. Isn't that what matters most? The door closed behind me with a satisfying thud, drowning out whatever response she might have had. Emma's hands shook as she spread the photos across her kitchen table. Each image felt like a knife, timestamps mocking me from the corners. Ryan and Jessica at the Harborview Hotel. Ryan kissing her outside his office. Jessica very pregnant, while I was still picking out fertility clinic brochures. There's more. Emma's voice cracked. He's been telling everyone you had problems, that you couldn't handle the pressure of trying for a baby. The irony made me laugh, a hollow sound that scared even me. While he was getting his mistress pregnant. Bella. Emma hesitated, twisting her wedding ring. There's something else, something I should have told you months ago. My stomach dropped. What? The night before your last fertility appointment, I saw them together at LeBlanc. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Ryan was showing her a sonogram picture. The room tilted. That appointment, the one Ryan had insisted I cancel because of his emergency business trip. The one that would have been our last chance before the clinic's cutoff age for their program. Why didn't you tell me? My voice came out strangled. He threatened my job, said he'd make sure I never worked in finance again. She pushed another photo across the table. But after what he's been saying about you lately, I can't stay quiet anymore. The image showed Ryan and Jessica at a company party last week, his arm around her waist, their perfect little family on display. The caption read, "Finally found my true happiness with someone who understands family values." My phone buzzed. Lucas, third message in an hour. I silenced it. He's going to promote Jessica to senior analyst, Emma continued. The position you wanted when you worked there. He's telling everyone she's more stable, more focused on career growth. Something snapped inside me. Show me everything. Every photo, every email, every whispered conversation you've overheard. What are you planning? I picked up the sonogram photo, the date burning into my retinas. Jessica deserves to know who she really married, that her perfect husband was planning their family while destroying mine. She's pregnant again, Emma whispered, 3 months along. The photo crumpled in my fist. Then she definitely needs to know, before he does to her what he did to me. This could get ugly. It's already ugly. I smoothed out the photo, memorizing every detail. He just hides it better, but I'm done letting him control the narrative. Emma gathered the photos into a neat pile. What's our first move? We're going to give Ryan exactly what he wants, a very public story about family values. I pulled out my phone, opening my email. And we're going to start with his wife. The USB drive felt impossibly heavy in my hand. Emma's contact in IT had come through. Years of Ryan's private emails, financial records, deleted messages. I'd been staring at the folder on my laptop for an hour, cursor hovering over the first file. Lucas's footsteps approached from behind. You missed dinner again. I'll heat something up later. The cursor trembled slightly. I just need to finish this. No, you need to stop. His voice carried an edge I'd never heard before. This isn't you, Bella. You're becoming obsessed. I clicked the first file. Screenshots of bank transfers filled the screen. Large sums moving between accounts I didn't recognize. Dates that coincided with our fertility treatments. Oh my God. The numbers blurred together. He was stealing from our savings, the money we set aside for IVF. Lucas leaned over my shoulder, scanning the documents. These look like wire transfers to offshore accounts. To pay for his new life with Jessica. My laugh sounded foreign, almost hysterical. While I was injecting hormones and tracking ovulation cycles, he was funneling our money away. Bella, this is serious. This isn't just affairs or office gossip anymore. Lucas grabbed my shoulders, forcing me to look at him. These are financial crimes. If you expose this, he deserves to be exposed. Think about the consequences for Jessica, for their kid, for you. His grip tightened. If you get involved in this, there's no going back. Another file caught my eye. Recent transfers, same pattern. He's still doing it, using the same scheme with their joint accounts. My phone buzzed. Emma, Jessica's asking questions about the old photos. Ryan's furious, threatening to fire me. Lucas read the message over my shoulder. You need to decide right now. Are you really willing to destroy everyone involved just to get back at him? I stared at the screen, at the evidence of years of calculated betrayal. He's going to do to Jessica what he did to me. Worse, she has a child with him. Too soon. My fingers moved across the keyboard, copying files. Someone has to stop him. At what cost? Lucas's voice was quiet. To them? To us? I turned to face him, really seeing him for the first time in weeks. The worry lines around his eyes, the tension in his jaw, the fear of losing me to this crusade. I have to finish this. The words felt like glass in my throat. Even if it costs me everything. Lucas stepped back, shoulders slumping. That's what I was afraid you'd say. He walked to the door, pausing at the threshold. Just remember, revenge leaves scars on everyone, including the person seeking it. The door clicked shut behind him as I opened another file, diving deeper into the darkness of Ryan's deceptions. The cafe buzzed with afternoon crowds as I watched Jessica rock Max's stroller back and forth. Her wedding ring caught the light, the same design Ryan had once promised me. She looked exactly like the type of woman he'd always wanted. Young, polished, maternal. I appreciate you meeting me, I said, sliding the envelope across the table. There are things about Ryan you need to know. Jessica's hand froze on the stroller. Is this about the photos Emma showed me? It's about everything. My voice stayed steady, practiced. The affairs, the money, the lies. She opened the envelope slowly, scanning the bank statements. Her face paled. These transfers, they're from our joint account, just like he did with mine. I pushed my coffee aside, untouched. While I was trying to get pregnant, he was funding his new life with you. That's not... Her hand drifted to her slightly rounded belly. Ryan said you were unstable, that you imagined things. Did he tell you about canceling our last fertility appointment? The words tasted like poison. The same week you found out you were pregnant with Max? Max stirred in his stroller, reaching for a dropped toy. Jessica's hands trembled as she picked it up, the same stuffed rabbit Ryan had bought for our non-existent nursery. Why are you doing this? She whispered. Because right now, you're living my old life. The perfect wife, the growing family, the joint accounts he's quietly draining. I tapped the statements. History doesn't just rhyme with Ryan, it repeats. My phone vibrated. Emma, Ryan knows. He's on his way. Jessica must have received a similar message. Her eyes widened, darting toward the door. I should go. You can't run from this forever. I grabbed her wrist as she stood. Trust me, I tried. Let go of my wife. Ryan's voice cut through the cafe noise like a blade. I released Jessica's arm, turning to face him. He looked exactly the same. Expensive suit, practiced smile, the perfect mask of concern. Funny, I said, standing slowly. That's what you used to call me. Jessica, take Max to the car. His tone was gentle, controlled. The same voice he'd used when telling me I was imagining his late nights at the office. The statements, Jessica said, clutching the envelope. Are they real? Of course not. Ryan reached for the papers. Bella's just trying to cause trouble, like always. I pulled out my phone, opening the banking app. Check your accounts, Jessica, right now. The color drained from Ryan's face as Jessica fumbled with her phone. In the stroller, Max began to cry. I trusted you, Jessica whispered, staring at her screen. With everything. Ryan stepped toward her, mask cracking. I can explain. No. My voice carried across the now silent cafe. This time you're going to listen. The cafe had gone silent. Every patron frozen in their seats, watching our drama unfold like some twisted theater production. Ryan's perfect mask cracked further as Jessica scrolled through her phone, tears streaming down her face. $2 million, she whispered. From our accounts, from Max's college fund. It's not what you think. Ryan reached for her, but she jerked away. I can explain everything. Like you explained to me? I pulled out more documents. The same way you explained missing our fertility appointments because of work emergencies while you were actually setting up offshore accounts. You vindictive bitch. His mask shattered completely, revealing the ugliness beneath. You couldn't stand seeing me happy, could you? Jessica's head snapped up. Don't you dare blame her. These transfers, she thrust her phone at him. These are from last week, while I was picking out nursery colors. Max's cries grew louder. A barista hovered nearby, uncertain whether to intervene. Ryan's face contorted as he glanced between us, calculating his next move. Everything I did was for our family, he said to Jessica, voice honey-sweet again. I was protecting our future. By stealing from our son, Jessica's hand covered her belly protectively. By lying about everything? He'll tell you you're crazy, I said quietly, that you're hormonal, imagining things. He'll make you doubt everything you know until you don't recognize yourself anymore. Ryan's phone buzzed. His face went ash white as he read the message. What did you do? The SEC is very interested in those offshore accounts. My voice shook slightly. And your company's board even more so. He lunged forward, grabbing my arm. You've ruined everything. Let her go. Jessica's scream pierced the air as Max wailed louder. Sir, I'm calling the police. The barista stepped forward, phone in hand. Ryan released me, straightening his tie with trembling fingers. This isn't over. Actually, it is. Emma's voice cut through the chaos as she emerged from the crowd, phone recording everything. The board's seen everything, Ryan. They're suspending you pending investigation. Jessica gathered Max from his stroller, backing away from Ryan. Don't come home tonight, or ever. As they left, Ryan turned to me, his face twisted with hatred. Congratulations, you've destroyed 2 families now instead of just 1. The victory I'd imagined felt hollow as I watched Jessica hurry away with Max, her world shattered just like mine had been. Emma touched my arm gently. You did the right thing. Did I? I stared at Ryan's retreating back. Then why does it feel like everyone lost? The cafe slowly returned to normal, patrons returning to their conversations. But something had changed. In winning my revenge, I'd become what I hated most, someone who destroyed families. Lucas had been right. Revenge leaves scars on everyone. The SEC investigation dominated the local news for days. I watched Ryan's empire crumble from a distance, each revelation worse than the last. Then came the text, "We need to talk, please." I found him at our old spot by the harbor, looking nothing like the polished executive who'd destroyed my life. His suit was wrinkled, his eyes hollow. They're charging me with fraud. His voice cracked. 20 years, maybe more. Karma's interesting that way. I leaned against the railing, watching boats bob in the distance. Jessica's filing for divorce, taking Max to her parents in Seattle. He pulled out his phone, showing me a photo of his son. I won't see him grow up. Like you cared about family when you were stealing from his college fund. That's why I needed to see you. He stepped closer, desperation rolling off him in waves. You know where the money is? The transfers, the accounts. If you help me return it, make it look like a mistake. You want me to help you escape justice? The laugh that escaped me sounded foreign. That's rich, even for you. Think about Max, about Jessica's baby. His hand gripped my arm. They'll have nothing. Don't touch me. I jerked away. And don't pretend this is about them. It's about saving yourself. Again. I'll tell them you knew, that you helped me set up the accounts during our marriage. His desperate plea transformed into a threat. You'll go down with me. A text lit up my phone. Emma sending the recording of his threat, captured from nearby. My mother's words echoed. Revenge leaves everyone scarred. You know what's funny, Ryan? I turned to face him fully. I came here ready to feel satisfied, maybe even happy seeing you destroyed. But looking at you now, I shook my head. I just feel sorry for you. You vindictive bitch. The money's already being returned. I cut him off. I worked with the SEC last week. Jessica and Max will be fine. Their accounts are being unfrozen. The color drained from his face. You. That's the difference between us. You destroy families to save yourself. I'm trying to save them from you. I started walking away, then paused. Oh, and that threat you just made? Emma recorded everything. Your lawyer will get a copy. Bella, wait. Goodbye, Ryan. I didn't look back. Enjoy prison. My phone buzzed again. Lucas this time. Coming home? I took one last look at the harbor where Ryan stood defeated, finally seeing him for what he was. Small, pathetic, alone. The satisfaction I'd craved for months felt hollow, replaced by something else. Not forgiveness, never that, but release. Yes, I texted back. I'm done here. Jessica's text caught me off guard. Max keeps asking about the park near your house. Mind if we stop by? I found them by the swings, Max's laughter carrying across the playground. Lucas squeezed my hand before heading to work, leaving me to face this moment alone. He looks happy, I said, approaching slowly. Jessica nodded, pushing Max higher. Seattle's been good for us. The divorce papers came through yesterday. I heard about Ryan's sentencing. 15 years. No possibility of early release. The headlines had been brutal. You know what's strange? She let Max swing freely, turning to face me. I should hate you for blowing up my life. But instead, she gestured at her son's joyful face. You saved us from worse. The playground filled with other families, their normal Sunday routines untouched by our drama. Max jumped from his swing, running toward the sandbox. I got a job offer, Jessica said, watching him play. Tech firm in Seattle. They didn't care about Ryan's scandal, just my qualifications. That's good. The thing is, she hesitated. I keep wondering if I would have had the strength to leave on my own, if you hadn't forced everything into the open. I didn't do it for you. The truth felt important somehow. I wanted revenge, to hurt him like he hurt me. But you made sure Max's college fund was protected, helped the SEC recover our savings. She met my eyes. Revenge doesn't usually look out for the collateral damage. Max's voice interrupted us. Mama, look. He'd built a crooked sandcastle, beaming with pride. That's amazing, sweetie. Jessica called back, then turned to me. We're staying with my parents until the new job starts. You should come visit sometime, if you want. The invitation surprised me. Why? Because Max should know there are adults who do the right thing, even for the wrong reasons. She gathered her bag. And because I think we both need to remember that healing is possible, even after everything burns down. I watched them leave, Max waving goodbye with sandy hands. My phone buzzed. A message from Mother. Sunday dinner? Lucas is welcome too. The playground had emptied except for one young couple watching their toddler on the slides. The woman laughed at something her partner said, touching her pregnant belly unconsciously. They looked like Ryan and I once did, before the lies and betrayal. I typed back to Mother, we'll be there. Maybe that's what revenge really costs. Not just the satisfaction of destroying someone who hurt you, but the wisdom to know when to stop the cycle, to choose healing over hatred, even when hatred feels easier. The young couple left, their happiness a reminder of what I'd lost and what I'd found. I headed home to Lucas, leaving the playground and its ghosts behind.